Hello and welcome, or welcome back. My name is Kabira and this is my channel, Kabira Speaks. Thank you for having me. At the time of this recording, the date is November 16th, Sunday, November 16th, 2025. So it's been a minute since I've made a video for my channel. I'm glad to be here tonight. For me, it's 6:36 p.m. It's so dark outside. We just had daylight savings time, as you know, or maybe you don't know. Anyway, let's set the scene for the evening. So, I got this from Dollar Tree. I love their long lighters. This for me is $1.25. These tall candles, I don't use them very often. My fun special candles I hardly ever burn, but this past Halloween I visited a friend, my best friend Blake, and they had a really cool skeleton candle. I mean, skull. I said skeleton. Skull candle. Well, I guess a skull is part of a skeleton, so you could see where my head was at. Anyway, they had a really cool skull candle, and they burned it for Halloween, and it was just inspired me to burn the special candles, you know, if not now, when? So let's do it. And put that aside for now. Bevy for tonight. This sparkling cider. Oops, I shouldn't have shooken it. From Aldi. Well, I have to put the mic down. Ooh. And that's the scene. So, cheers to you. And cheers to me. So, tonight's topic of discussion. I was diagnosed with prediabetes last year. It came as quite a big shock and surprise to me. It was December when I got the news. I had just gone for a doctor's appointment, just a run-of-the-mill standard appointment in which I did blood work, and I just happened to look on the portal, and I saw that there were some numbers in red. I didn't know what they were, but they hadn't ever been, you know, in red before. I found this out before my doctor ever told me. I looked at these numbers, and after Googling them, I found out that I had prediabetes. And then after a day or two, after all of my other results were in for my blood work panel, someone called me, or no, they didn't even call me. They just sent me a message on the portal and confirmed you have prediabetes. And one thing you could do is join this class, which we have one at our hospital and there's one at the YMCA, and follow a better diet. I think maybe they said that. But they truly didn't give me much instruction. The best instruction I guess they gave me, they being my doctor, would be to join the prediabetes prevention class. So yeah, I just wanted to speak a little bit tonight about, or whatever time it is in which you're watching this. For me, it's tonight. I just wanted to speak a little bit about my experience getting prediabetes, getting out of prediabetes, and yeah, what worked for me and what I guess I'll have to do maybe forever moving forward. This is a little thing I got at, again, when I visited my friend Blake. It has little metal things in it that some are heavier. Oopsie. Some are lighter, so they fall at different speeds. And I have it as a little fidget toy for me tonight. I hope it's not too much, but it's been a minute since I've made a vlog, and wow, the candles look so nice. Take a look. Before prediabetes, I never thought I could like seltzer, but now I do. So, I got the news on the portal. The only instruction was prediabetes prevention class. I was very upset when I found out. I was upset with myself, which maybe was, I don't know if that's deserved or not. Deserved is a little harsh, you know? And that's what I ended up having to tell myself. Like, okay, let me explain. I had a history of eating disorders, I guess, which began in high school and got significantly worse in college. And then after, in my young adulthood years, I was all over the place, you know. I had subjected myself to lots of crash diets, extreme diets, periods of lots of exercise, periods of no exercise. Really just the pendulum was swung from one side to the other, and I fear it really caught up to me. So when I say that my initial reaction was that I deserved it, I thought that I had caused it by, you know, by following so many terrible diets and, you know, being otherwise not taking very good care of myself. But I thought to myself, is this helpful? You know, you'll never really know without shadow of a doubt if it was that caused this. So is it helpful to really blame yourself in that way? And the answer for that question was no, it wasn't helpful. What was helpful was to figure out what to do about it, because I really was quite scared when I found out, because diabetes is a serious thing. It can be very serious. It's my understanding. I've had loved ones who are diabetic, and yeah, I know it can be really challenging. So I was very scared. But the more I read about it, the more I found out it's a wake-up call, I guess. It's a blessing in a way to get the diagnosis, because it is reversible. You know, are fortunate enough to find out in time that you are pre-diabetic, you can take the steps to reverse it. So, yeah, looking back, I guess I am glad that I found out, because it did help me to significantly change my way of life and, you know, feel a lot better, healthier, and happier. We're gonna take a quick break. We back. Took a 5-minute recess. For you, it'll be just a blip. Anyway, where were we? So, yeah, blaming myself wasn't helpful for me. And if you ever find yourself in this position, blaming yourself most likely won't be helpful either. I don't know, I've never been the type of person where tough love really works. tough love on myself mostly just makes me feel bad. And then I'm in no state of mind to want to make any changes. Yeah, so I guess in the months leading up to getting prediabetes, I had gotten a job. I have a job which is sedentary. I'm a mental health counselor. I really enjoy my work, but I do sit down for most of the day. And previously, the job I had before, used to work at a residential rehab, which was an apartment complex. And part of my job, I would do rounds every 2 hours, and that meant like doing laps around this apartment complex. So it was a much more active job. And back then I was just more active in general. So I went into a period of inactivity, and I had a sedentary job. And I'm an indoors woman. I do like to be inside and watching movies and TV and reading and playing Sims and things and the like. So I just was doing all that a lot and not being super active, and that. And on my lunch break, I got into a habit of hitting up, well, a few different places. The Chinese buffet, takeout, only a few dollars. So that was a real, I guess, addiction, you could say. I know it wasn't good for me, but I would load up on a lunch break anyway and indulge. I'm a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm a hedonistic person, and I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. I'm an enjoyer. I like to enjoy things. I like to do things that are pleasurable to me. And a lot of the times that's food. However, it was coming at my own expense. So the Chinese buffet was one indulgent place that got me in a grip, got me gripped up. Another place, just a gas station. I'm not gonna say which gas station in case it's entirely local, I'm not sure. But there's a gas station that I really got into it. I got their wings. I got into it with their wings. Their breaded wings. I myself, if you haven't guessed, I'm a savory bitch. So when I'm binge eating, for me, a lot of the time it would be on savory, salty, fried foods. So fried wings were one of my weaknesses. Also on a lunch break or just on a rainy day. You know, I use food to soothe myself. It's not a crime. It's seriously not a crime. It's understandable. I'm not mad at myself for, I'm not mad at myself for it. I don't hate myself for it. Why would I? And if you find yourself in this predicament, you gotta show yourself love. I try to do that more. I'm in a much better place now than I were a few years ago. I'll tell you that much. I'm 30 now. I like myself more today than I used to. I do like sweets sometimes. I do like sweets, in particular, the ones I like sugar donuts from the Chinese restaurant. Those I love. But other things I can just have on I can take or leave them, I guess you could say. So anyway, that being said, I do think it was the fried foods that got me into the hot water. The hot water being prediabetes. So the program through my hospital, strangely enough, would have cost me money, but the program with the YMCA was actually free through my insurance. So if you or someone ends up with prediabetes and they have health insurance, this is something that is typically covered, because do whatever it takes to help you prevent it. I do owe a lot to the class. I did enjoy it. I've been in it for a year now, because yeah, I've been in it for a year. So as soon as I got the news, I told my partner, of course, told my inner circle of social support, and I tried to get into this program. Linked up my insurance. They gave me actually a 4-month family gym membership, which was really nice. So and if I had children, I don't have children. If I had children, they would have been able to come as well. But it was just me and my partner. So we got a 4-month free membership to the Y, and started going regularly. Went to some classes, and it was really nice. I do like the Y. It's a good place, good environment. I know they're they're all different. The one thing is that we could have gone to any different Y we wanted to. We ended up going to the same one, but that membership did include any Y. Oh, you okay, Myra? My dog had a little cough. Let's show you Myra. Take a little reset. Come here, Myra. This is important. This is my daughter, Myra. Oh. And my best friend in the world. Okay. Sorry, Myra. She was getting a drink and I interrupted. But had to show you the girl. Anyway. So for the class, it seemed like a lot at first. It seemed like I can't do this. But what choice did I have? I really didn't know what to do or where to turn. You know, it seems like there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, and especially when it comes to health, you know, it's very easy to go down the wrong road when it comes to health things. And in fact, we take a step back quickly. I'm not trying to make this too long for us. I was doing a keto diet, ketogenic. I'm not trying to make anyone upset who does follow ketogenic diet, especially if you're doing it for, I mean, it's none of my business why you're doing it. I'm just saying, for me, I do think it was not the right decision. The way I was doing it in particular was, if you're not familiar with the keto diet, it's a high fat, high protein, no to low carb diet. It can be pretty extreme. And the way I was doing it was very extreme, where I was really doing fat bombs. That's what they're called, where I eat literally butter and cream cheese frozen together, mixed with a little strawberry or something, you know? Tons of bacon, clogging it up. Just as much fat as I could handle. And protein. And also, while doing that, because it is extreme, I would cheat on the diet and, you know, rebound the other way and probably indulge in other things like sweets and things. So ultimately it was just at my expense. Anyway, let's step back forward. Back in it again. So I joined this class, and it seemed like a lot because it was weekly meetings every single week for 6 months. Luckily for me, the classes were online. There was the option of in-person and the option of online. But for me, it was the only option was online, because that was the nearest class that was opening. And that was fine with me. And honestly, looking back, I don't know if I would have been so successful had it not been online. It was easy peasy to log into Zoom from the comfort of my couch. It might have been, I don't know, annoying to have to go in. But the class would be held at the Y, so I'm sure that would be encouraging to get your workout in. Maybe it would have been good to have camaraderie in person with the other classmates. I guess one downside of the online class is that, you know, in the class, I didn't really like have any, I would say I got to know the other people in my class. I did get to know them, but had we been in person, maybe we would have talked a little bit more. Whereas on an online call, when it's over, it's over. But ultimately I did like doing it online. It was every week, a Zoom call, an hour long, and there was a module, like a textbook, an online textbook that we followed. There was a teacher, and when I first started the class, maybe 10 people were in it, and then I think maybe we ended up with 7 or 8. There was a man in the class in the beginning. Maybe it was in like his 30s or something, and the rest were women, and then myself, and I'm the youngest person in the class, and so be it. Maybe if the class were bigger, there would have been other people my age, but I guess it was for me just a bit of a, you know, wake-up call. It can happen at any age, but for me it happened when I was 29. Anyway, the module really talked a lot about nutrition and lifestyle changes. Talked a lot about the things that get in the way, the things that prevent us from like reaching our goals or for making healthy habits. And I got to talk to other people who also had this diagnosis, who maybe had made similar choices in their life that I have made, or I don't know, we had that in common. So age and everything else aside, you know, that's a big thing to have in common, and it was really nice to just talk to other people who were going through it too. The instructor I'm still in the class, is very informative, and I don't know, I just feel like it rewired my thinking in a lot of ways to focus more on like my health than just wanting to lose weight or wanting to look a certain way, which is that's thoughts that have plagued me for some time. It's not uncommon. Disordered thinking and like that, or body dysmorphia. It is something that definitely got me. And like I said, it wasn't without consequences. So, but by doing this program, I was able to finally lose weight in a healthy way, because losing weight was part of the program. That was part of the goal. That's one of the ways to reverse prediabetes, is to lose weight. And I was able to finally do that in a healthy way for probably the first time in my life. I would maybe even say losing weight in a healthy way. Every other time it's been dieting, and dieting for me wasn't healthy. It wasn't ever sustainable. And I guess the last thing I would say that I learned would be just, I learned a lot of replacements for things. I still enjoy eating. I'm still a foodie. I'm still enjoy a bevy, but I've learned a lot about just swaps, healthier swaps. And I think like I was saying before that quick break, I feel a lot better after some time of adjusting my diet, cutting out sugar, and eating less sugar, eating more vegetables, moving more. And I had to log my food on my MyFitnessPal and send it to my teacher every day. I had to do that till I got into the habit of just knowing and understanding. After some time, I noticed that my mood was a lot better, and I just felt a lot better, and I didn't even know that I had not been feeling well. I guess that was my natural state of being for so long that I guess I was feeling fatigued and run down, but it was only after I started, eating more veg and paying more attention to what I was eating that I really noticed my mood shift and my motivation, ability to just be active change. And one other part of the class that was hard, definitely hard, especially as someone who had, like I said, struggled with disordered eating, I had to take a picture of my weight. I had to take a picture with my feet on the scale and send it to my instructor of my weight every week. And this at first felt really like invasive, I guess. Just, it felt like personal, but it was without judgment. They just wanted to see if, what we were doing was having any impact. Anyway, yeah, so it's been about a year. I did beat pre-diabetes. I beat it, she beat it. I beat it, she beat it. I beat pre-diabetes. I got better numbers the last time I had blood work, and that was really exciting and great to hear. I really did that shit. Not alone though. I had a lot of support. My partner was really supportive. My friends were really supportive. My best friend made me a really nice workout plan, and my other friend would work out with me, and yeah, I did have support. And as a household, we made changes, started eating like more plant-based together, making healthy meals together, and it was a joint effort. It definitely would have been harder by myself, I would say that. So I think I'll wrap up here. That's been probably a bit of time. I think about 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And wow, I am glad I burned those candles. I was worried it would be dripping way too much or make a big mess, but it hasn't. So light those candles. Light the special candles. If not now, when? If you have any questions about pre-diabetes, please let me know. I think I was mostly just talking about my own experience with it. I didn't know if I didn't want to mess up and explain it wrong. But if you have any questions, please drop them and I'll try my best to answer. And thank you so much for watching and being here. This was so fun. It's been nice. It's nice to be back in the saddle. So I'll see you next time. And until then, take care.